Right. Hey everyone, this is a little bit of bouncing around here. We're going to work a little more on the ear, flesh tone, and go back in and explain some of the detail and do a little more to the hat from the previous video. Okay, so I've got my original flesh tone in here, and I want to start establishing the inside of the ear. Okay, so there's the ear. You can see some redder tones because the thinner areas where the light shines through will reflect that lighting. Okay, so right now I have the base color. What I'm going to do is for this area right here, I'm just going to use my finger. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Right here. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my thumb right there. And I'm going to use my thumb as a freehand shield, you might say. Soft edge. You can rock it a little bit, creating the shadow without an edge. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Edges are highly critical. That makes the painting more believable. A little bit on the frisket here, and then I'll just roll. No matter how dark I get, I'm still going to get a soft edge. As you can see, it's similar to what I'm trying to mimic. All right, so don't always use the hard edge when it's not a hard edge. Now, a little freehanding. I do have my pencil lines there. I still have to kind of lighten them as I go. So right in here, it's just a little guide. And I'm going to go, okay, I need that one line. A little bit less air. Here we go. So I'm going to spray actually inside the shape of the ear. So I'm going to go and put a little color in this area. Not a lot, because it's going to be tinted and made more red, you know. Okay, so the top part, okay, it's still kind of a soft edge, so I'll try to freehand it. Because doing this, you know, it's the color is the other way, it's below it. So let's see, that pencil line has to go a little bit. Just knock it out, and you can still see where it was. And now I'm going to just come under, let's see, I'm going to come under right here. Put some color in. Using the erasers, I got a little dark there. No, I didn't get too dark, actually. It's very dark there. Okay, so now it goes uphill a little bit. So now I'm going to kind of do a line. Still a softer edge. There we go. Just like that. All right, so now that'll be darker in there. It's still even a little more. We'll just kind of bring it in. All right, now I want to adjust things a little bit. I like this soft eraser that I can just softly reshape it. Okay, so what's going on here is this is starting to come back this way. I'm going to spray off my finger. Gotta be real careful. I'm kind of pump stroking it, trying to create, maybe I'll freehand this part a little bit. A little more air pressure to make this paint move. Might have to thin it a little more. Right there. And it kind of goes down into a little dark area, right? Yeah, I might have too much tip dry. Okay, you can rock the needle, and that helps clean the needle off along with picking at it. All right, so right here, there we go. It's a little dark spot there. Now, I can spray the darker color right above that freehand area. Okay, and then I'll shoot it up and out and away. so it blends, creating that look. Whoops. It's going to get darker. I'm going to change, the angles and stuff. Put a little more color on it. So we're going to just freehand it. This is protected. Getting tongue twisted lately. All right. So that's protected. You can put a little color here and there, like in here. Just freehand it. Right above there. And I'm just going to put a little mist of color as it goes up. And it starts to separate. Okay, so now I'm going to take the eraser. I'll probably take the Tombow. It's like a very small, you can get into tight areas. If it's not strong enough to remove the paint, then I'll use the aggressive eraser. All right, so I want this highlighted right here. I'm going to go that way. Let me clean it off a little. It will not work if you have a dirty eraser. Yeah, it's working. It's nice and soft too. Even though it's fresh paint, it's behaving. Okay, so let's see what's going on up in here. A little bit lighter. You can almost do little circles to get rid of the pencil line there. So I'm sculpting it and I'm shaping the ear into its, okay, so let's look at this part right here. Okay, there's texture in there too. But I'm trying to erase thinking like the airbrush. I don't want no harsh edges, or just as the airbrush would put it on nicely. So I'm just going to go around. Got to hold the camera so it doesn't shake. Get up in there, clean it up a little bit. It's almost like you're drawing, you're just trying to pay attention to the edges the whole time. Keeping it soft. That's what the beauty of the airbrush is, so we might as well take advantage of it. Now right in here, it's going to cut up this way. I think I will use the eraser, that's this one, to get a little more bite on it, just right in this area, brighter highlight. There we go. So that's and then there's a fatter part right here, so you just kind of double up the line and even fatter a little bit. Time to clean the eraser on the paper. Basically, I'm just going like that. All right, so this needs to come over that way more. So see, I reshaped it. All right, so basically, we're getting the shapes of the ear. I do have that darker area there. I got to do a little freehand skills. You got to practice your freehand skills to the beginners. Just do a lot of on the side. You can use paper towels like a t-shirt artist would do, and you could literally just practice, throw away the stuff, practice gradations, practice just lettering and t-shirt style, because it'll allow you to develop your skills very quickly as you go after this freehand look. This is the custom micron. It's darker back in here, so leaving room for that wonderful highlight. Now I could probably use the shield right here, and just, you can always elevate the shield a little. That means get something under it, like your finger off the shield, creating still a soft edge, something like that, as opposed to laying it on the surface and having a crispy, sharp edge that will do you no good as far as too hard of an edge. That's pretty much it. I wanted to also show you, you got the frisket on here, so let's back out. Okay, so we have the frisket protecting here, and I have the color in the gun. So now I could literally practice a little bit my values. So looking at the darkness in here, I'm not going to ruin the picture because I'm spraying on the film. So I literally can try to do a little freehand practicing. Wrong color, it's more of a sepia mixed in it. But I'm just creating, again, it's not the right color, but it's allowing me to practice on the real painting without ruining anything because it's protected. Okay, so there I can come along. You can practice your little dots. Let's go in close to the nose. So when I get the right color in here, you can do some pump strokes, and there are shields you can buy for skin texture. If you're going to do little like freckly things, you got to be careful because you don't want to be like making dots like that. You want to turn your air pressure down really low. You want to back off and control the airbrush from a close-up distance. So we got some, okay. So see how I'm darkening areas. It's going to be very darkening. You're not this color. Again, I'm painting on the film just to show you. So let's say the eyebrow is going to be right here. I can get a feel for that. That's not going to be the color of the eyebrow. It's going to be very dark. So you're just doing stuff like that. You can test your values over here. See, where you want to go with them. Just like that. Tint over the whole thing. And you end up getting a little bit of too much there. You end up getting a little practice in that will allow you to do your thing. See all the little freckles there without, it's got like some kind of a, I don't know what it is there. It's like a dent in the skin. Whoop, nothing coming out. So tip dry with the micron. You have to go after it a lot more than I am. So let me just kind of, I could probably use a shield for this part, but that's not the color, but he has some kind of little dent in the skin right there. By the way, that's just a drop of paint that ate the paper, so that's not part of his face. All right, so there's a little bit of that. You can tint over that a little bit, and that's the sculpting of the ear. And then, of course, this was just practice. So let's back this out. Take off these funky eyebrows. So just taking advantage of the slippery surface of the film, which I buy the satin finish. It just gave me a little practice, to check values. Got to have the right colors though. But values are what you have to really focus on first. Color, get the right value, and then go after the correct hue by, because if you're mixing and it's already too dark, you're wasting your time trying to mix the color. Okay, so I got a little white in the gun. Let's go back in. We talked about different things we could do for the hat. As you can see, I did a little sculpting up in the top part of the hat. Okay, and now what I'm doing is not just erasing, because erasing is still pretty aggressive. So I'm going to go in closer. Closer. This is where you're doing details now. Okay, so let's go in there. And it's very light. The overall coloring is sparkling. And there's more cerulean. It's another, it seems like the colors change. Like when I bring this up in front of the camera, it looks like it's different. It looks more cerulean. And over here on the real print, it's not that color. So what I'm showing you on the screen there isn't actually, my color is closer to what I sprayed. Whoops, gotta put my airbrush down. And see how the erasing goes. I can do a lot of this with, there's different ways you can go about it. You can put a lot of the texture in first, which is the smartest way. Putting the dark spots in and all, and then tinting over it. Okay, so it's a little bit aggressive looking. It's still, well, I'm using an aggressive eraser, but what I also could do though is I could go back in. I can lighten the whole hat. Okay, I got white in the gun. Test it on the side. Just pass over that. Look at the real picture. Pass over it again. Knock everything back. I'm not using the original color right now. And white does shift over to blue. If I spray white on, say I wanted to repair an area and I spray white on an area like that, and then I try to spray a flesh tone on top of that, well, color shift is going to be blue. And so your white causes a blue shift. Okay, so, but on here, the shift is in my favor because it's blue. It's already blue. And I do want gray tones. So just squinting my eyes and looking at the real picture, trying to just get, you know, the value correct. And right now it's not light enough. I got a little bit more. I don't want to get too far away from seeing the blue. Okay, and then it's going to go over this way, and then there's going to be actually cobalt blue right out of the bottle. Okay, so we're going to go in further if I can. I don't want the focus to go off. So I'm going to kind of do a pump stroke here, creating white, little white, not hard dots, not like real. I'll do it on the black. I don't want like something like, it's hard to do on the shiny surface. I don't want hard dots. I want soft, very soft, microscopic dots, you know, like air on the whole time, and then just kind of pump the stroke and then just move around with it, creating texture. Like I said, there's stencils you can get, which I will be slowly building up my inventory as I look around. I know that Drew Blair, School of Realism. I mentioned him a lot. He's still my teacher from afar. If anybody can ever get over to his school, you'll never regret it. Okay, so all right, so you can see it's kind of, you can tint it back and stuff, but the hat, let's back out now, is starting to have the fuzzy texture. I'll go in about halfway, and I will lighten, whoops, these areas. There's almost like a blue violet in there too. I can kind of find my way. So let me see if I can not block your view. I don't want too much air pressure if I don't have that paint thin enough. So besides erasing, you can do stuff like this. So now I'm creating the white that I could erase down to, or I could spray back up onto. Whoops, I think I got a couple of free dots out of that deal, because there's dots in this. Let me try a few. That looks pretty good. Oh, I got to purchase some of those stencils. He has skin textures. He has, oh, you can get the bark of a tree. It's all well worth the investment. Time is of the essence. You want to get from points, you know, you want to go from 0 to 10, and you want to, or point A to B, and get there quicker. So any way we can do it with the airbrush, that's much better. There we go. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm going to be working with pulling out highlights again down here. Real strong, the white of the board. Now to spray white paint in there, there's a time and place for it, but right now I'm using the white of the board because it's looking so realistic that way. It just goes with the palette, the whole thing. And then of course the frisket is on here because there is an edge. So if I take this, I should come at it from this way. Oh, good old frisket. I can't stand it actually. But anyway, let me just pull it back a little bit. Okay, get my hand out of the way. And you'll kind of see where the ear is going. So we'll pull that back to about there, just so you can get a feel for what I'm doing there. You know, there's a very strong highlight there. Just take that out. And where this meets, this is actually going to be hairs. See, so I got to have the frisket out of the way. They're glowing. His hair is not white, but in the picture, that part is super highlights. So I'm going to be doing that kind of stuff, working it and going back and forth. Okay, do a little bit more to the hat, just a tiny bit up here. I like these this texture kind of has a raised area on the bottom and a smooth on the top. And that raised area helps lift it a little bit. Oops, wrong color, Bill. I got two airbrushes going. I grabbed the flesh tone. All right, so we're just gonna, whoops, it flooded, but it worked good onto the picture. All right, little highlight here, freehand. I'm gonna turn up the air pressure. Sometimes I work better with a higher air pressure. I know you can't see it. The camera's so close. Let's back that off. All right, so all I'm trying to do, guys, is just work that highlight in right there. Get in real close. And establish the brighter highlight there. Slowly but surely, all these shapes will come together. These are kind of bell-like. They kind of come to a little, whoops, a little too much paint. Kind of do something like that. Wipe it off, turn down the air pressure. And that's the nice thing when we have classes, which we don't have right now, you know, in person. The classes were nice because the teacher makes mistakes right in front of you, but to see it is cool because there's no panic. It's like just watch the teacher fix what he just did wrong. And that's part of the beauty of being in a classroom environment, is probably the best way to learn. Let's get that highlight in there. I tried to erase it before. I'm going to do some pump strokes, creating little fuzzies, move along, a little jaggedy. And we've got a far away highlight that is right under the blue. Again, I'll be adjusting colors. I'll be erasing still. So this is it for now. Another video. Even the eyes, I practiced on them. It's not the right color, but they're covered. So it's just a little extra tip you can have some fun with to you know, do that. So there's your area right there. Okay, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next video. And I got some donuts waiting for me. I don't eat donuts usually, but treating myself a little bit during this crazy time. And I will see you guys on the next video. Again, take care, practice a lot, have fun, and use it as a diversion. And yeah, just enjoy your art, especially now that you can, you know, divert from watching the news and all the crazy stuff that's going on. And God bless you guys. Be safe. And I'll see you all soon on another video. Take care.